There are limited job offers in Qatar right now because after the World Cup, skilled, some of them were unskilled, but majority, most of them were unskilled jobs. Time to time, or even till now, they still employ unskilled workers. So why isn't it same for Qatar? Enough work. So I had this guy who told me his company laid him off. Even on the internet, it says Qatar has one of the lowest unemployment rate, which is like 1%. So people outside. So now let me explain. If I say there are jobs in Qatar but not for people outside, it means the employers would rather employ candidates or would rather employ workers within Qatar. He says he came here to Qatar to work as a dispatch rider or whatsoever, but his boss went through his CV. His boss realized that he's too good to be a dispatch rider. So this story is uncooked. Like, it doesn't taste. Yo, what's good, beautiful people? Welcome back again to our beautiful channel. I go by the name Alex Sterling, and if this is your first time seeing this handsome face, kindly make sure to subscribe. And if you're a return subscriber, I say thank you so much. My subscribers are the best in the world right now because we've been getting like, you know, huge amounts of subscribers from time to time now, and I'm so grateful. If you've been with me since day one. Last time I saw this guy sent me a message on Instagram. I don't know him out of nowhere. He says he's been watching my videos since I had 500 subscribers and I have over 1,000 subscribers now. So I'm like, oh, thank you so much. So this is like a hardcore, you know, a follower or let's say a subscriber who has been with me from time to time. Anyways, thank you for stopping by again once more. So in today's video, we're basically going to talk about current job situations in Qatar, as the title reads. Or just let me say there are limited job offers in Qatar right now because after the World Cup, hundreds of companies were closed because most of the companies had contract bases. So it's like to build the country, to build cities, to build cabins or like accommodations just for the World Cup. So after the World Cup, and during the World Cup, we had a lot of unskilled jobs. Like both, some of them were skilled, some of them were unskilled, but majority, most of them were unskilled jobs. So it made you know, employment in Qatar rose to you know, some certain level, which, you know, brought a lot of people into the country. But now people think we are still in that era. Now let me tell you one thing. I understand Qatar is a developed country, and I know even when I was scripting, you know, what to say in this video, and I got to the point where I was like, Qatar is a developed country, so there wouldn't be you know, unskilled job all the time. But hey, US, Australia, Canada, all these other places, they are also developed countries, but from time to time, or even till now, they still employ unskilled workers. So why isn't it same for Qatar? Now, this is because Qatar is just a small country. Being a small country means there are limited opportunities. I keep saying this to a lot of people. Now, if you go to the internet says something different, but trust me, Google doesn't know everything, right? Because we have the first experience at hand. We can tell you what's basically going on over here. So maybe you can go to Google. Google will tell you there are a lot of jobs, or even you can find travel agencies around and they might tell you that there are a lot of jobs around. But trust me, if you find people within Qatar to talk to them like how has the job market been ever since the World Cup, people will tell you Qatar has never been the same after the World Cup. So this is what's going on now. A lot of people are losing their jobs. Most of the companies are terminating their staffs just because they don't have job or they don't have work. So I had this guy who told me his company laid him off. Like, not just him, they laid a couple of, like, a bunch of, you know, workers off, told them to go back to their home country, and then they'll bring them back again when they need them. I told him, listen, if you go, you're not coming back. Plead with your boss or plead with your employer to give you an NOC so you can look for a job. So yeah, he did that, and guess what? It worked for him. He has been granted an NOC to go look for a job, and this is like a limited amount of time. Like, he has to go look for a job ASAP, like as soon as possible, like within a month. Yeah, he has to get a job, else he'll be sent back to his home country, which I feel like at least this employer has tried his best. But in some cases, most people are being sent back home to their home countries, and I feel like this is really bad for people back home who wants to come here. Now, Qatar, even on the internet, it will say Qatar has one of the lowest unemployment rate, which is like 1%. So with over 4 million or 3 million people in Qatar, just 1% of people living in Qatar are not working. Really? So yes, and even if it's 1%, that 1% could amount to maybe thousands of people, probably. So imagine if thousands of people, and you know how difficult Qatar is and expensive Qatar is, how can thousands of people be living here without job? Like, how are you going to eat? How are you going to send back money back home? How are you going to pay your rent? So all these things comes in hand and it becomes very difficult. But then again, I'm not saying it's impossible to find a job in Qatar here. You know, it's difficult, but it's not impossible. This is what I keep on saying all the time. It's difficult now. Now there are jobs. There are jobs in Qatar, but these are not jobs for people outside. So now let me explain. If I say there are jobs in Qatar but not for people outside, it means the employers would rather employ candidates or would rather employ workers within Qatar because first of all, it's very easy and you can get them today or tomorrow. Much better than for you to buy air tickets, to go through all the process to get them a visa, to bring them from their country. You know one funny thing, you bring them from their country, like I mean an employer or a sponsor spends thousands of dollars or whatever, like reals, to bring an employee from their country to come and work in this country, and they come and after a year or two they're like, no, they are done. They want to change and look for another job. Like, what the fuck? Imagine, just imagine like you are in that position. You spend all you have to bring someone from their country to come and work here, and then when they get here, this is the time for you to also get what you spent in them. It's like you investing in them, and this is the time for you to reap what you've invested. But now they tell you they found another job and they want to leave, so it becomes very difficult. And sometimes most of these employers or some of these sponsors don't have empathy. They will just there is no empathy over here. This is just about, I brought you here to work for me, so why do you want to leave and go join another company? So it becomes very difficult. So just like I'm saying, companies now would want to recruit people within Qatar. So if you're outside Qatar and maybe you've been looking for a job in Qatar and it has become very difficult. I know a lot of people text me, like they send me DMs on Instagram and stuff like that. Like it has become very, very, very tedious for them to land a job in Qatar. Most of them are also coming with freelance visas, which I'm advising them, because when they get here with the freelance visa, the first thing they do is to go on the internet and type how to get a job in Qatar, and probably my video will pop up. Other YouTubers' videos will pop up about how to source a job in Qatar, and now they will come into your DMs asking you if you can help them get a job. And some of these things, when they ask me, it really pisses me off, because you paid a lot of money to an agency or an agent to bring you to Qatar. Now when you get here, I'm the one to carry that cross for you. Come on, you didn't pay any money to me, and I'm not asking for anyone's money, but don't put me in a tight corner where I feel like I'm indebted to you, or I owe you a lot, like I need to look for a job for you. If an agent, recently this guy, so there's a guy who messaged me on Instagram. Was it Instagram or WhatsApp? I don't know. I think he took my number from one of the WhatsApp groups. He messaged me. He says he came here to Qatar to work as a dispatch rider or whatsoever, but his boss went through his CV. His boss realized that he's too good to be a dispatch rider, so his boss asked him to go look for a job, and his boss has given him NOC, so he has to go and look for another job. So he contacted me. I'm like, the first question I asked him, I've never heard such a story. Are you sure you didn't come to Qatar with a supposed freelance visa? Because who would bring you from your home country just for you to get here and be like, why didn't they see your CV before you came here, or didn't they see what your capabilities, what you can do before they brought you here? But for you to get here and tell me your sponsor looked at your CV and was like, no, you are too good to be a dispatch rider, so go look for another job. This story is uncooked. Like, it doesn't taste well. But what to do me? I just helped him. I actually suggested a few companies to him that he can go and knock on their doors, and this guy keeps on texting me, like giving me update and for me to follow up for him. Listen, the best I can do is to direct you to some of these companies. I don't know people directly from those companies. The only thing I know is maybe I have few friends who are working there, but they are also just common staffs. They are like ground staffs. They are not in that high position where they can get you a job. So now it becomes like a struggle to me. Some of these people, I need to actually block them. Some of them, I need to be rude to them. Not because I'm rude, but I just want to get them off my tail. I'm just tired. You know what I mean? So there are no jobs over here, or let me say, just like I said, there are limited jobs over here. So try some other places. I'm not saying don't come to Qatar. I mean, I know I've seen a lot of videos, like people in the UK, people in the US, they will tell you, it's very difficult over here. It's very difficult over here. Yet they are living there. They don't want you to come. I'm not going to be I'm not going to be like those people. It's difficult over here, but it's up to you. I mean, I'm here to advise you with a situation currently here. You know, like this is the hard truth. This is the hard pill. If you want to swallow it, that is up to you. If you don't want to just crash it and throw it somewhere and still come. I know most people, when I tell them Qatar is very difficult, you cannot come here with freelance visa. Now, you come in here with a freelance visa. Do you have anyone that you are coming to live with? Have you even checked how much the rent costs over here? Even if you are going to share a room with someone, like bed space, which is somewhere around 600, in between 600 to 1000, like that is the bed space. That is reals. So 1000 reals is about 600, is it $600, right? 1000 reals is like $600. So yeah, that's how much you're going to pay. That's how much you are expected to be paying for rent for how long? For God knows, until you get a job. So how long can you be paying $1000 monthly until you get a job? So if you don't have anyone that you can, come and perch by them for you to be able to look for a job. And one thing also I keep telling people, if you are new over here in Qatar, try to find any job that is available. One thing I will tell you about Qatar: know your capabilities, know what you can do, know the kind of job you can do first of all, and also look into what is available at the moment, right? So okay, this is what I can do, but at the moment this is what we have. So we go for what we have now. It's not about what you can do. Maybe through you being in what is available now, you'll be able to find what you can do. I hope this makes sense. So just like I'm saying, unskilled jobs are very limited in Qatar now. Unskilled jobs like construction, laborers is very difficult. But if you're very lucky enough, you can find like semi-unskilled job. I don't know if this makes sense, like semi-unskilled job like waiter, waitresses, So these are some of the few jobs that I feel like they are they are they are one of the most demanding jobs in Qatar over here. So if you find yourself in any of these fields, like you can apply. I wrote some few companies, professions over here. Like if you're a real estate agent, yeah, I think you can be able to find yourself a very decent job. Information technology, if you're in the IT world, it comes in handy. You can get a job. Hotel management, so could be supervisor, a manager in any field in the hospitality, teacher, marketing, technician, engineers, domestic workers. So this is like house helps or stuff like that. So you can also get a job. Oil and petroleum engineers, media and PR. So health workers, like in the hospitals, nurses and doctors. Yeah, you can find a job. Tourism. I've never seen any tourism. Okay, so this is what I found on the internet. Also construction, like construction engineers and stuff like that, but not laborers, not construction laborers. So yeah, these are some of the jobs that I feel like they're in high demand. If you find yourself in any of these boxes, I'll leave this preferences in the description box so you can go through them, and I might also attach their salary. So if you feel like you want to check them and go through them, it's solely up to you. Anyways, this will be the end of today's video. My throat is dried. My name is Malik Sterling, and thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I love you. Bye bye. Oh, sorry, don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe for us. Thank you. Stay safe. Bye bye.